Coming in at number 10, Johnny Depp threw his phone at Amber, causing injury. This is definitely one of the biggest ones on the list. The initial case against Johnny that he harmed Amber physically exploded onto the internet back in 2016 after the former couple got divorced with irreconcilable differences cited as the reason. Although they had initially made a joint statement saying that the divorce was amicable, it very quickly got ugly when Amber filed a restraining order against her former lover. During the case against him, she alleges that Depp threw a cell phone at her during a fight, which struck her in the eye and the cheek, and that he claims he screamed at her, grabbed her face, and pulled her hair. She also submitted a photo of her face all bloodied and bruised. But documents later falsified this claim when LAPD officers who responded to the call during the time of the fight stated that they found no evidence of any crime having taken place. In the current defamation case, Heard's lawyers subpoenaed the LAPD, which basically means they called the cops to court. I guess during these current suits we'll see more of an elaboration on that fight, but as of now that's all we have. Number 9, they both claim that neither party has made false accusations for financial gain. In August 2016, after their divorce had been officially finalized and settled, the pair released another statement saying, quote, "Our relationship was intensely passionate and at times volatile, but always bound by love. Neither party has made false accusations for financial gain. There was never any intent of physical or emotional harm." Fast forward to now, the claims that neither party has made false accusations has been completely turned on its head. Not only that, but financial gain is at the forefront of these cases. Currently, Depp is suing Heard for $50 million, and she is countersuing for $100 million. I'd say that lines the pockets pretty well. Number 8, Amber donated $7 million to a children's hospital. After their divorce was finalized, Amber pledged that she would donate $7 million of the money that she got from Johnny to the American Civil Liberties Union and the Los Angeles Children's Hospital. In 2021, a New York judge partially granted a petition from Johnny to determine whether the donations had actually been made. What was found was that she did not in fact donate the money, but had planned to do so. Quote, "My client is still planning to donate one half of her total settlement to the ACLU and the other half to CHLA. And while it is undetermined what those payment schedules may be, she has already made the first payment toward the pledges. She fully intends to continue to give the full $7 million, but she can't do it yet. She will do it when she can. But she has given a significant amount to both." What's the holdup, Amber? Coming in at number 7, Amber Heard wrote her op-ed insinuating that Johnny hurt Amber's career. In the now famous Washington Post opinion piece that Amber Heard wrote that spawned the defamation case, Amber alleged that her divorce from Johnny Depp had practically blacklisted her from Hollywood. Quote, "A movie I was attached to recast my role. I had just shot a 2-year campaign as the face of a global fashion brand and the company dropped me. Questions arose as to whether I would be able to keep my role as Mira in the movies Justice League and Aquaman. In fact, Amber had barely lost any traction. She didn't get her name taken off of Justice League, and she's doing just fine filming for movies as we speak. But Johnny Depp got fired off of Fantastic Beasts, and he's barely been in anything these days." Although Amber cried victim herself, it is extremely apparent that that isn't really the case.
First up, Amber displaying contempt. Court TV spoke with body language expert Janine Driver to speak about all the small details that she noticed while watching the trial. When speaking about things that people at home might have missed, Driver said that Amber was displaying signs of contempt. Contempt is a pattern of attitudes and behavior, often towards an individual or group, but sometimes toward an ideology, which is the characteristics of disgust and anger. When talking about signs of contempt, Driver said, quote, "It's on the left side of her face right there. It's moral superiority, and it's out of place, especially for a battered woman. I work with battered women, they're not leaking contempt." The expert continued that signs of contempt were shown in other women like Casey Anthony and Jodi Arias, who the public were convinced did horrible acts and were hiding the truth. Driver continued, quote, "The bigger the audience, the more often we will see contempt, and we're seeing it every single day on Amber Heard's face, never once on Johnny Depp's face. Contempt is one of the 7 universal emotions that cannot be hidden on a person's face, so it's giving us a true window into what's happened in her mind." Next up, Johnny Depp hand movements. One body language expert noted that Depp might have been deceptive during his testimony about hurting his finger. When he was on the stand to testify about when he allegedly put his hand through a wall out of anger, Depp denied this and told a different version of events, claiming his finger was hurt after Heard threw a bottle at him. However, the body language expert notes that the large pauses he had while telling the story is concerning, and might signify that he is trying to piece together a story rather than the truth. although it's normal to be careful with words during a trial. The expert noted deceptive behavior and a quote, condescending smirk, face touching, and grooming by running his hand through his hair. He also frequently blocked his mouth. This all contributed to him being a quote, charming storyteller. He also injected emotion into his retelling of events to connect to his audience even more. The expert believes that Depp 100% punched a wall, but that he told the truth when he didn't sustain his finger injury at the time. Johnny smiling in court. During the trial, we have seen Johnny smile or smirk during intense or uncomfortable moments. Expert Janine Driver explained how this can be tied back to the childhood abuse Johnny faced when he was younger, something Johnny testified about during the trial. When speaking about the science behind it, Driver said, quote, when people feel weak or vulnerable or emasculated, they'll often smile in those moments, adding, quote, it's a way to not let us see how much suffering they're in. It becomes a defense mechanism that people will use throughout their life. I'm sure Johnny Depp has been doing this for years. This smile right here is saying I'm uncomfortable. Amber touches her face. While Amber was listening to an audio recording in court, the body language expert observed that Amber touched her face a lot. The expert told viewers that when anyone's levels of stress and anxiety are increased, one of the ways our body deals with it is by touching our face. Continuing, quote, it's like recharging your cell phone. It does a cognitive reset, and it does an emotional reset. Amber specifically touched her face on her forehead, which is significant to the body language expert. Touching the forehead is an indicator of shame, and since the audio recording was making Amber look bad, it makes sense she would feel shame. Even though Amber touched her face quite a bit, the expert noted that Amber never showed any quote, microaggressions of sadness throughout her eyebrows or corners of her lip, as one would expect in a trial like this. When the expert was asked about the audio recordings, Driver said the recordings should be thrown out of court, adding, quote, of course she's going to be whistling Dixie saying good things in these audio recordings, most of them. Who knows, she could be acting. This does not prove she is a battered woman, like the article said in the Washington Post. Amber Heard looks turtled. YouTube channel The Behavioral Arts did an entire video on some of the body language that's been displayed during the trial. When specifically talking about Amber, they claim that Amber looked, quote, turtled during the trial, like she was trying to draw less attention to herself and look smaller. The expert explains that this is a defense mechanism when people feel insecure. She also showcases stress in key areas of her chin and forehead. They also noticed that Amber was giving, quote, non-answer statements when testifying. When watching a portion of the trial, the host notes that Amber has shifty eyes when someone is talking to her. One reason for this could be a condescending lack of interest, with it signaling that the person who is speaking to her is not important enough. Heard has defensive body language. During the trial, the body language expert noticed that Heard seemed very aggressive, which is interesting because it's not normally an emotion that would be seen in a domestic harm case. At one point, Heard started to aggressively scratch her shoulders so fast that she almost knocked off her microphone. When Heard's lawyers objected to some questions, Heard started looking down, showing that she was thinking of what to say next. Heard then danced around Depp's questioning, using a technique called speech disfluency. She stumbled over her words and also used fluff words like to stall time, and to think about what to say next. The expert also noted that when answering some questions, it seemed like she had rehearsed what to say. Since she's an actress, that makes a lot of sense. The expert noted she looked like she had, quote, forgotten her lines. Heard forgot key details while testifying. When Heard was describing some of the altercation she had with Johnny, the body language expert noted that Heard seemed to forget a lot of key details, including which parts of her body were specifically hurt when the bottle was allegedly thrown at her by Johnny. Heard was also fluttering her eyes, another deflection technique. The expert also emphasized that Heard minimizes some of her previously mentioned altercations to put further stress on others, trying to manipulate how things are being interpreted by listeners.
Number 6. Amber told the court that Johnny had pushed Kate Moss down the stairs. This claim was basically instantly debunked and shut down by the court. Based on a kind of old rumor, Amber voiced unsubstantiated claims that Johnny Depp had pushed his former girlfriend, Kate Moss, down the stairs after she stood up for her sister during a fight. The lawyer defending Johnny said that she was basically making up accusations as she went along to try and paint him in the worst light possible. Number 5. Amber's sister lied to the court defending Amber herself. The third week of the trial of Johnny Depp against The Sun, a magazine that published a piece calling him a wife harmer, Amber's sister was called to testify for The Sun. Then, the day after her testimony, when she claimed that Amber had never hurt her or harmed her in any way, a video was sent to Johnny's lawyers by an anonymous source which disproves that statement. Depp's lawyers claimed that the video demonstrated that the sister had lied and tailored her testimony to, quote, meet her sister's evidence. The footage in question was a clip from a reality show featuring Amber's sister claiming that, quote, I can't believe Amber beat your ass. Number 10. Amber lying about having a broken nose. 2 days ago, during a recounting of one of the many fights that Amber and Johnny have found themselves in, Johnny Depp took the stand in Virginia to address the moment he realized that Amber Heard had, quote, flat out lied about breaking her nose during one of their fights. According to Fox, the actor began by explaining how Amber once attacked him in his home office and proceeded to accuse Depp of having broken her nose during the altercation. Immediately after it, Depp recalls Heard saying, quote, "Way to go, Johnny, you broke my nose." However, the actor later admitted that he crept inside her bathroom. Quote, "I pulled the Kleenex out of the trash bin. I inspected it pretty closely and realized it was nail polish, nail varnish." While this isn't a confirmed instance and is more so a personal recount, her lying about having a broken nose would be an extremely substantial situation of horrible and manipulative behavior. Number 9. Amber lying about being hit in an altercation. Another instance of a fight between the former celebrity couple where what Amber says directly contradicts what others who were present in the situation have said. In an instance where a verbal altercation occurred between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, Depp's bodyguard has finally come forward to offer insight into what really happened behind closed doors. The bodyguard, whose name is Malcolm Connolly, took the stand and alleged, quote, "As time went on, I could see them change. I could see Amber change. I could see Johnny getting quieter." When he recounted some instances where he'd heard occasional arguments between the couple, he stated, quote, "I could hear at times in certain accommodations when this thing happened. I could hear Amber screaming. I could hear shouting and bawling, and I could hear it going on. Mostly, I could hear Amber screaming. I'd never seen any slapping or grabbing or punching or hitting, but I did see scratches on Johnny's neck, maybe a fat lip in the corner, maybe a bruising on the eye socket. It was getting more regular. Not every week, but it was definitely happening, yeah." This directly contradicts Amber's narrative that she's never hurt or touched Johnny violently, and for others who aren't involved in your trial to go against your statement is a massive deal. Number 8. Amber faked bruises with video evidence showing it. As was exposed during the previous defamation trial of Johnny Depp against The Sun back in 2020, there were photos of Amber's alleged injuries. It shows Amber's cheek being battered and bruised, and she's got a swollen eye. Taken at face value, this is an awful instance of someone's face being physically harmed during an angry fight. But Amber has been accused of lying about the injuries and said she may not even have had any. There is security footage of Amber and her sister directly after when the fight was supposed to have occurred, and her face doesn't show any sign of visible harm. On top of that, the footage shows Amber and her sister laughing and throwing fake punches at one another. It seems more like a joke than anything else. If it is proven in the court that Amber did lie about being injured in the now infamous photos of her bruised up face, that will be a massive red flag where the judge may not be so lenient this time as he had been before. Number 7. The cops at the scene didn't notice a disturbance. In the previous defamation trial that Johnny held against The Sun for them labeling the actor as someone who harms his wife, there were tons of defendants who weren't allowed to take the stand because the trial focused on whether or not The Sun had falsely reported the claim. Although it had to do with Amber, it wasn't necessarily directly about Amber. Now that Johnny is suing her directly, we're hearing about the relationship from a lot of people who weren't allowed to take the stand before. One such case is the LAPD officer who responded to a call about a domestic disturbance at Amber and Johnny's home. While Amber claimed that she had been hit by Johnny, the LAPD officer tells a very different story. He says that he never saw any sign of disturbance, and that Amber looked completely fine, with no bruising or harm done to her face. He also said that Amber has been extremely unhelpful and refused to sign a police report or hand one in for filing. Later on, paparazzi had taken photos of Amber where she had bruises all over her face, so it just doesn't make sense. If the cop said that he didn't see any harm, why then a few hours later was her face all battered up in paparazzi pictures? Number 6. Johnny Depp was away when another domestic fight happened. According to CBC News, when Amber had initially filed for a restraining order against Johnny, she showed up to the courthouse with a bruise on her face. But the evidence seems to point to Amber giving herself the injury because of one small detail. Johnny's lawyer is claiming that she gave herself the injury to ruin Depp's reputation. He proved this by stating that Johnny and Amber hadn't even seen each other for at least 6 days before she was in the courthouse, and the bruises looked way too fresh for 6 days of healing. Johnny was on the European leg of a tour he was doing with his band, the Hollywood Vampires. This means that there's absolutely no way that he could have been the one to hit her. Number 5. Witness calls Amber a liar. On April 13th, the second day after this defamation trial began, one witness to the couple's messy drama, Ike Barak, took to the stand. He is Johnny's friend of 42 years and was called to the stand to state whether he had seen any signs of Johnny doing any harm against Amber. He stated that he never saw Amber being physically hurt despite living next door to the couple. He came close to tears when he described what he called Amber's fraudulent accusations against Depp. He also made sure to state that he liked Amber and considered her to be a friend, but is extremely stressed by the situation in the court. He also stated that he was angry about, quote, phony pictures taken and put in tabloids and the fake narratives and the way Heard got a fraudulent domestic claim to extort and blackmail. There are many people affected by the malicious lie she's created. It's gone out the door and around the world, and I can't even paint anymore. Number 4, a makeup brand may expose Amber for more lies. On the 23rd of April, a makeup brand shocked everyone by entering into the fighting ring with one crucial piece of evidence that seemed to continue to suggest that Amber had been lying about the whole thing. Amber's lawyer claimed that the actress had used a makeup product by Milani Cosmetics to cover up her bruises that Johnny had given her. The only problem with that claim is that Milani's all-in-one correcting kit was not launched until 2017, as representatives of the brand stated themselves in a TikTok video that has gone explosively viral. The alleged harm occurred between 2012 and 2016. The makeup product would not launch until a whole year after Depp and Heard were divorced. While Heard's attorney didn't specifically name Milani Cosmetics in court, she did hold up the makeup kit in question and said that Amber carried it around in her purse every day to hide bruises. It could be that the attorney was just using the product as an example of the type of makeup Amber would have used, but it's also possibly just another one of Amber's lies to try and make Johnny appear more evil. Number 3, a body language expert seems to peg Amber as using lying techniques. While the science of body language is far from concrete, one body language and behavioral expert is extremely suspicious of the way that Amber conducts herself during the trial. He explained that she frequently has shifty eyes when someone is talking to her. The most likely reason was, quote, condescending lack of interest. You are not important enough to hold my interest. He also states that Amber frequently had defensive body language, such as an aggressive way that she scratched her shoulder to where she nearly knocked off her microphone. Her lawyer's objection to some of the questioning found Heard looking down, indicating that she was thinking about what to say next. Number 2, Amber didn't donate the money to charity like she promised. If we rewind all the way back to the initial divorce proceedings, Amber had stated to the court that she planned to take the $7 million that she made from the divorce case and donate it to the Children's Hospital and a workers' rights group. But a few days ago, a representative of one of the charities testified that his organization only received $1.3 million from Amber, including a $500,000 fund that was tied to Elon Musk, which would not be money from Amber herself. Although $1.3 million is a lot, it is definitely not the $7 million that she had promised to pledge to the charity. Quote, the entire case is really about Amber Heard's credibility. If Heard is going to lie about something easily verifiable, you have to ask yourself, what else is she lying about? Says a journalist covering the court case. Number 1, the phone call that proved Amber had hit Johnny Depp. Although this phone call is nothing new to the court, I'd say that it is one of the most damning pieces of evidence against Amber that catches her in a direct lie. It changed her defense from I didn't hit Johnny to I caused less damage than Johnny. The phone recording is of Amber place-dating Johnny after an argument in which she defends herself. Quote, I can't promise I won't get physical again. I get so mad I lose it. She continues to say, quote, I was hitting you. I didn't know where the motion of my hand was, but you're fine. I didn't hurt you. I didn't punch you. I was hitting you.
In our number 10 spot today, we have Amber filed first. This was a moment that almost slipped through my fingers as I was watching the trial. It was a moment where we learned that 2 months before Amber's infamous Washington op-ed was published, she initiated an arbitration against Johnny Depp for defamation. When Ms. Vasquez, Johnny's lawyer, questioned her about it, she said it was really just a letter that her team sent to Johnny's team. So why is this small detail important? Well, most people don't realize that in order for Johnny to win his case, or to most likely win his case, his team has to show that Amber expressed malice in her op-ed against Johnny. And hearing that in only 2 months prior to the article being published, Amber was warning Johnny that she may sue him for defamation, one could argue that her article was a direct response to it and a form of an attack on him. But all that matters is that the jury picked up on that, and to be honest, the moment was so fast, so I wonder if they even did. In our 9th spot today, we have Smiling Amber. At this point of the trial, Johnny's lawyers played a video clip of Miss Heard's original deposition back in 2016. In the clip, Amber is being questioned in a room full of lawyers about her relationship, and then one of the infamous tapes begins to play, and we watch her listen to it along with everyone. The tape that is being played is the one where Amber and Johnny are discussing Amber Amber kicking the door into Johnny's head. She's apologizing and saying that she never meant to, but admitting to intending to hit him when he was trying to leave. And while the tape is playing, we see Amber eating and being kind of blank-faced about what she's hearing, but then she starts to smirk after looking at what seems to be a lawyer, and then as the tape continues, she starts rolling her eyes a bit and continues to smirk. When the tape finishes, Johnny's lawyers question her about smiling as the audio is playing, and if she doesn't take beating up her husband seriously. Amber replied, arguing that she was just smiling because everyone else in the room was rolling their eyes and smiling. But regardless of the reason, the clip did show a clear lack of respect for the seriousness of the conversation, and as she goes on to speak about Johnny being dramatic towards the end of the clip, we are then able to once again see that she doesn't respect his feelings and has a lack of respect for the situation as a whole. In our number 8 spot today, we have the tweet. Throughout the questioning, Miss Vasquez, Johnny's lawyer, asks Amber if she wants to move on from this whole situation, referring to all the drama from this relationship and to leave it in the past. As I was watching this, I was kind of wondering, where is she going with this? She's asked her this a few times now. What is she trying to do? Of course, Amber replies that she, of course, wants to move on. Eventually, my question was answered when Johnny's lawyer brought up a tweet conversation between Amber and Johnny's former lawyer, Adam Waldman. In this conversation, it begins with Adam provoking Amber about wearing makeup, and she takes the bait and replies, "Yes, Mr. Waldman, I may be wearing makeup on this occasion, but on every occasion, you will still be short." Damn. Harsh. I believe that through showing this tweet, Johnny's lawyers were wanting to show that she can have a cutthroat side, but also they wanted to show that if she indeed was in the headspace of wanting to move on, she would not be engaging in petty tweets. Actions speak louder than words. In our number 7 spot today, we have the mirror. This is another one that I'm truly surprised that people aren't talking about more. In the cross-examination, we viewed a mirror picture from when Amber and Johnny were in Australia in 2015. The mirror photo was taken on the day that Johnny severed his finger, and after this accident, he took to painting the walls with paint as well as this particular mirror. He wrote a few messages on the mirror, and Amber took a picture of it. On this same day, Amber has alleged that Johnny injured her body with a bottle as well as beat her up. What's interesting though is that there are no pictures of her injuries. Johnny's lawyer points out that not only are there no injury photos, but you also can't see Amber in the reflection of the mirror photo, almost as if that were intentional, because perhaps she had no injuries. If you thought to take a picture of writing on a mirror, would you not think to take a picture of your injuries as well? Especially since she has taken other injury photos and documented those, and this was supposed to be a time where she was really hurt. In our number 6 spot today, we have the love journal. Apparently throughout their relationship, Johnny and Amber kept a journal to which Amber called it a love journal. It was a journal where they supposedly wrote love letters to each other and what seems like also apology notes. Now, we only got to see a very small fraction of this book, 3 entries in fact, so it's hard to jump to conclusions, and we have to understand that Johnny's lawyers want to keep painting her in a bad light, as that's their job, so we really can't know if the journal was mainly love notes or apologies unless we get to read it. But certainly from the 3 entries that we read, the perspective we were given was that it's mainly Amber apologizing. Amber says that's not an accurate representation of the book, so fair enough, we have to try to remain unbiased. But what was interesting is these entries took place right around the time that Amber was supposedly seriously injured by Mr. Depp, and one in particular was after a supposed altercation where he hurt her again. So it is curious why she is so apologetic over hurting him, when the picture that she has been painting is that Mr. Depp physically hurt her during this time. In our number 5 spot today, we have Change the Locks. Amber has testified that she was trying to change the locks to the penthouse apartments on May 27th, 2016. But it was revealed in the cross-examination that she actually attempted to change the locks and supposedly did change them on May 22nd, 2016. Why is this important? Miss Vasquez, Johnny's lawyer, said, "But you changed the locks to the penthouses on May 22nd, 2016, to which Amber replied, I attempted to. Which led Johnny's lawyer to reply, that's why you felt comfortable having James Franco over the evening of May 22nd. To which Amber played off and said, I do not know when James came over. Oh, that's convenient. It's only on the elevator footage that the lawyers have shown a few times in court. And also, isn't it curious that she seemingly remembers every detail of things that happened in 2012 all the way to 2016, including describing her friend's shirt being a mesh shirt in one of her parties, but she cannot remember when James came over, even though it was right after the supposed last injury that she endured from Johnny. Then Johnny's lawyer proceeds to show Amber the infamous clip of her getting cozy in the elevator with a date and timestamp on it. Right after, seconds after this clip is shown, she is asked if it's past 11 p.m. at night, and Amber replies, I'm not quite sure the time, it looked like that. Oh, Amber, just tell the truth. Everyone saw the timestamp only 1 second ago. This was not a good moment for her. In our number 4 spot today, we have Sleeping Johnny. Lots of photos of Johnny allegedly passed out on the floor or in a chair were shown to the court. Apparently, Johnny would just nod off, and so Amber said she took these photos because he wouldn't remember, and she wanted to show him that it had gotten that bad. She took multiple pictures, including one of him sleeping in a chair on vacation on his island, and she testified that he wasn't sleeping, he was nodding off. There was a difference. She agreed that these photos were embarrassing, especially a picture where Johnny was asleep and ice cream was all over him. Amber agreed that it was embarrassing to look at and that it shows that this is someone that clearly needs help. This was a seemingly caring moment that only lasted for a minute before Johnny Depp's lawyer showed a text message convo with one of Amber's friends, and this convo revealed that even though Amber knows this picture is embarrassing and sad to see, she sent it to her friend anyway, telling her friend that, quote, this is what she has to deal with. Not her most compassionate moment. In our number 3 spot today, we have No Records. With all the injuries that Amber Heard allegedly had throughout her long relationship with Johnny, she weirdly has no medical records or dental records. When asked about the dental records and whether she had to see an oral surgeon or get dental work due to the injuries, she replied that she never needed to. Then when asked if she had any medical records showing that she required reconstructive work, she replied, I never required reconstructive work, so there would be no records. But what was interesting is that she spun her reply in a way to seem like, well, duh, obviously if I didn't need surgery then there would be no records, duh. But what she was doing was taking the attention away from the fact that clearly she either A, didn't have very bad injuries, unlike what she described she had, otherwise she would have had to go to the doctor, at least for the possible broken nose and the bottle put inside her to make sure there's no further damage. Something that someone who wants to be a future mother would care about. Or B, the point of perhaps she had no injuries and that's why there are no medical records. In our number 2 spot today, we have No Pictures. Pictures were shown of Amber at an event the day after Mr. Depp allegedly whacked her on the face so hard that she thought her nose was broken. The scene goes as follows. Johnny's attorney said to Amber, your nose doesn't appear to be injured in any of these pictures, does it, Miss Heard? Amber replies, I'm wearing makeup. Johnny's lawyer says, your nose doesn't appear to be injured in any of these pictures, does it, Miss Heard? To which Amber replied, that's why I'm wearing makeup. Johnny's lawyer says, right, and makeup covers up swelling, right? To which Amber replied, makeup will not cover up swelling, but ice will. Johnny's lawyer says, ice will cover up swelling? To which Amber replied, ice reduces swelling. Normally the swelling after that kind of injury is not as bad as you can imagine, and for me it wasn't that bad. I have the picture of it underneath the makeup, that's how I know how to reference it. Johnny's lawyer replied, a picture that you haven't produced to this jury? Amber replied, I produced everything. The scene went on like this only for Amber to claim that she would like to show this alleged picture, but it is not her job. Once again deflecting the blame onto her lawyers, which honestly, who knows how the jury thinks, and I bet in her mind all she's thinking is, as long as the jury believes me, that's all that matters. In our number 1 spot today, we have the bed. This is the most interesting moment that I'm shocked people aren't talking about more. This is the point in the cross-examination when Johnny Depp's lawyer got Amber to confirm that she testified that on December 15, 2015, Johnny broke the bed. More specifically, he broke the bed frame with his boot while they were in an altercation. Amber Heard agreed to speaking of this. Johnny's lawyer then proceeded to show a picture that Amber took that depicted the broken bed. Amber confirmed that this is indeed the picture that shows the broken bed in her story. But then the attorney scrolls into the photo and shows a pocket knife literally on the bed. Something that is way more likely to break the wooden bed frame than a boot. Of course, Amber stumbled for a second and then proceeded to indicate that she did not damage the bed with that knife, but Johnny's boot did while he was punching her. But then Camille, Johnny's lawyer, asks Heard about how she testified that there was blood all over the pillows and proceeded to ask Amber where the pictures were for that. And Heard admitted to not taking a picture of the pillows. Wow, what a mic dropping moment. Starting off at our number 10 spot, we have "You're Such a Baby." In the cross-examination of Amber Heard, the famous tape where Amber admits to hitting Johnny and calling him a baby is played. There is a good minute or more that is played that gives you context as to what was happening at the time. Prior to hearing the recording, Amber testifies to the court that she only hit Johnny out of defense and that she never hit him otherwise. But in this recording, it shows that actually isn't true. Johnny's lawyers proceed to say to Amber, "You said you hit Mr. Depp." To which Amber replied, "Yeah, I had to hit his body to get him out from the door." To which Johnny's lawyer replied, "Miss Heard, my question was, you said on that recording that you hit Mr. Depp, right?" To which Amber replied, "Yes, I did." To which Johnny's lawyer set the trap and replied, "And you accused him of being a baby for not wanting to start a physical fight with you." To which Amber replied, "I accused him of being a baby for complaining about me hitting him. He was trying to get through the door and I was trying to barricade." Sheesh. She walked right into that one. She finally admitted to it and showed a very key piece of evidence. If you were being hurt by this man, would you be calling him a baby for you just hitting him? And also, would he even be complaining about you hitting him so passively, if I may add, if he is the aggressor that you portray him as? This moment revealed a lot about both of their characters. In our number 9 spot, we have Tasia Van Ree. There was a final moment when Johnny's lawyers question Amber about her previous relationship with Tasia Van Ree. They reveal an article that states that Amber Heard allegedly struck her ex-girlfriend Tasia Van Ree at the airport in 2009. There were witnesses at the airport, including the cops, that allegedly saw it, which led to the alleged arrest. Johnny's lawyer asked one final question of, "Mr. Depp is not the only domestic partner that you have hurt, have you, Miss Heard?" Of course, Amber replied to never hurting any of her partners ever. But sadly, she once again lied to the court as there is evidence on the tape of her admitting to hitting Johnny. That was the last question Johnny's lawyer asked before finishing the cross-examination. Damn. Just damn. I hope someone patted Camille on the back for that finale because that was arguably one of the best endings I've seen in a while. In our number 8 spot today, we have "Tell the World, Johnny." In day 1 of the cross-examination, the very infamous tape where Amber says to Johnny, "See what the jury and judge think. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, man, I am a victim too of DV." To which Johnny replied, "Yes." And then Amber went on to saying, "You know, it's a fair fight. See how many people believe you or side with you." Johnny Depp's lawyer then commenced to reiterate what was just said by Amber, with Amber confirming that it was indeed her voice. But Camille's slow but subtle emphasis on the power of the words and what was just said, it was the perfect delivery to drive home the point. You can please tell people that it was a fair fight and you can see what the jury and judge think. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, a man, a victim too of DV. That's what you said, right? To which Amber replied, "I am saying it to the man who beat me up. Yes, I thought it was preposterous." To which Johnny Depp's lawyer replied, "And the man you beat up numerous times, right, Mrs. Heard?" Amber replied, "I could never hurt Johnny." The last comment totally discredited her because the jury has already heard her on numerous occasions on tapes apologize to Johnny and admit to hurting him. Coming up in our number 7 spot, we have Fix It. At one point in the cross-examination, Johnny's lawyer is reading a few pages out of a journal of what Amber calls their love journal. Camille Vasquez, Johnny Depp's lawyer, reads quite a few entries where Amber is apologizing to Johnny. Amber insists that there's more love entries than apology notes. Camille proceeds to read another apology that shows that Amber is very remorseful over her behavior. Amber proceeds to tell the court and jury that she was always trying to fix it, referring to her always trying to fix the problems they had. To which Johnny Depp's lawyer replies, "Fix it by apologizing for your bad behavior?" Yikes! savagery. Coming up at our number 6 spot, we have spilled wine. After the court listened to the audio tape of Amber and Johnny talking about Amber screaming at Johnny for spilling wine on her. At the beginning of this point, the court listened to the audio tape of Amber and Johnny talking about Amber screaming at Johnny for spilling wine on her. In this recording, Amber is very apologetic. After this recording was played, there was an air of, where is Johnny's team going with this? But then we quickly realized that this recording was done a week or two after Amber said that Johnny allegedly hurt her. The scene went as follows. Johnny Depp's lawyer Camille Vasquez says, "Mr. Depp says you screamed at him when he accidentally spilled wine on you." To which Amber replied, "I realize that's what Johnny said." To which Johnny's lawyer replied, "And Mr. Depp tells you that this freaked out his son Jack." Then Amber said, "Johnny often used other people to back him up in our arguments." To which Johnny's lawyer replied, "You don't seem too concerned about that, do you?" To which Amber replied, "I had a lot of concerns." To which Johnny's lawyer replied, "You don't mention Mr. Depp sexually injuring you in this recording, do you?" To which Amber went on to say that that was not the point of that conversation. But whether that was the point of the conversation or not, if you were sexually injured by someone, do you think you might be justified to scream if wine was spilt on you? Do you think you might be a little less apologetic for such a small incident? Would love to know your thoughts in the comment section below. Coming up at our number 5 spot, we have mirror photos. Throughout the cross-examination, we hear quite a lot about a particular incident in Australia in March 2015, when Johnny Depp's finger was severed. From what we can gather about the incident is that Amber and Johnny had a big fight, which then led Amber to allegedly throw a bottle at Johnny and sever his finger. This led Johnny to seemingly become hysterical, to then dip his finger in paint and start writing on the walls of the place they were staying in, as well as the mirrors. According to Amber's testimony, she was also physically hurt by Johnny that night and sexually injured by way of a bottle. As Johnny Depp's lawyers are questioning Amber, they show Amber a picture that she took of the writing on the mirror that night. They then point out the fact that Amber can't be seen in the mirror. Interesting. But then also, why aren't there pictures of her supposed injuries from that night? But there's a picture of writing on the mirror, in which she clearly is standing out of frame. Very sus, Amber. In our number 4 spot today, we have motion denied. After Johnny had made his case and all of the witnesses he brought had spoken, Amber Heard's team went to argue to strike the whole case and trial based off of lack of substantial evidence. Johnny Depp's lawyers took to the stand to argue that not only does he have substantial evidence, but he also has proven that Miss Heard has injured Johnny. He went on to say that regardless of the creativity used in Miss Heard's Washington op-ed, that everyone in the world knew that it was referring to Johnny, and it therefore has caused him to experience some defamation. The monologue was completely compelling and clearly showed that there is a case here, and so the judge denied the motion to strike the case.
Number 4, he said, she said in the current court cases. One thing is definitely clear. Both Amber Heard and Johnny Depp have harmed one another. Text messages surfaced that show Depp very clearly stated that he wanted to end Amber's life by burning her and doing awful things to her corpse. Meanwhile, we've seen tons of lies on Amber's part in her attempts to cover the own harm that she has done against Johnny, as she continues to claim to only be a victim rather than playing equal parts as the perpetrator in this extremely obviously toxic and insane relationship. Coming in at number 3, Johnny Depp's self-inflicted wound or not. In the 2016 Sun article libel trial, Johnny Depp claims that Amber had cut part of his finger off in Australia during a fight when he was there to film a Pirates of the Caribbean movie. It was later revealed in a voicemail to his doctor that Johnny had in fact cut his own finger off. The voicemail recording reads, and just so you know, a bunch of this will be bleeped by the way to keep it family friendly, quote, "Hi. Had another one. I cannot live like this. She is as full of as a Christmas goose. I'm done. No more. The constant insults, demeaning, belittling, most heartbreaking, that is only released from a malicious, evil, and vindictive. But you know what? Far more hurtful than her venomous and degrading, endless educational ranting is her hideously and purposeful, hurtful tirades and her shocking treatment of the man she is supposed to love above all. Her obsession with herself is far more important. She is so ambitious. She's so desperate for success and fame. That's probably why I was acquired. Although she has hammered me with that a sad old man has been I am. I'm so very sad. I cut the top of my middle finger off. What should I do? except of course go to the hospital. I'm so embarrassed for jumping into anything with her. The world. Although it definitely was after a verbal altercation, Johnny has a history of drinking too much, and it is alleged that he drank way too much that night, had a fight with Amber, and it escalated to an insane degree, with Johnny harming himself after a major depressive bout. Coming in at number 2, Amber may have tried to get her friends to lie for her. In a report that was just posted only moments ago at the time of writing this, Amber Heard's good friend Eve Barlow was kicked out of court for a multitude of reasons. Eve was acting as part of Amber's legal team even though she has no expertise in the matter. It is alleged by the court that apparently she tried to intervene during testimonies from Johnny's witnesses, which is entirely not allowed in a bid to not let the truth come out. She was also very recently kicked out of the courtroom and told not to return because she was live tweeting the processes, which is strictly under lock and key, after she was caught on her phone during the proceedings. Quote, Amber had her closest journalist friends sit in the front row with her legal team at the trial, live tweeting, texting, and posting information. Even though the court has continually sided with Amber, that can't look great on her to so obviously be having someone leak information. Coming in at number 1, both Amber and Johnny have stated they never hit one another. Both are proved untrue. Now finally, the biggest one of all, and the root cause of all the legal proceedings going on. Whether or not you side with Amber over Johnny or vice versa, one thing is abundantly clear. No one person is the true victim here. While it was determined pretty early on that Johnny had hit Amber, even if it wasn't nearly as bad as she had alleged, it did happen. There is video evidence and voice recordings of aggression and harm against her. Similarly, however, Amber is the only one with a voice recording genuinely admitting to hitting Depp. In a phone call to Johnny, Amber stated, quote, I can't promise I won't get physical again. I get so mad I lose it. The hit in question was a slap. So when both parties choose to continue to deny any wrongdoing, does that mean that these legal battles will just continue to drag on forever as each person continues throwing accusations at one another with little regard for the truth? Number 10, Penelope Cruz. Penelope Cruz, the woman known best for her roles in movies like Vanilla Sky and tons of Spanish-speaking films. She was also Johnny Depp's co-worker in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. She played Angelica, the daughter of Blackbeard, and she is super outspoken about her support for Johnny Depp. In their statement about the issue, she said, quote, I've always been impressed by his kindness, his brilliant mind, his talent, and his peculiar sense of humor. I've seen Johnny in so many situations, and he is always kind to everyone around. He's one of the most generous people I know. During 6 months of my first pregnancy, I spent every single day with him while we shot Pirates of the Caribbean. My husband and I will never forget the sweetness, protection, and kindness he treated me with during every single step of that process. We love him very much, and I feel lucky to have someone so special in our lives. She hasn't fully gone against Amber Heard, but I think it's pretty clear just where her loyalties lie in this matter. Number 9, Javier Bardem. Now on to Penelope Cruz's husband, Javier Bardem. He revealed back in March 2020 during one of the previous court cases that his allegiance lies stoutly with Johnny Depp. They had previously worked together on a movie called Before Night Falls, and again in Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Men Tell No Tales. In a statement, he said, quote, I stand by Johnny because I have always seen and felt a true caring and loving man in him. He's an extraordinary and unique artist who has listened to anyone who needed help. I not only love Johnny, but respect him deeply and thank him for being the free and careless little boy he is in his art and the mature and loving man he is in the lives of others. He's always there when we need him. I love Johnny because he is a good human being, trapped in the lies and manipulations of toxic beings, and yet smiling and loving us all in spite of it. How? Through his music, through his acting, through his silence. This means a lot. Thank you, Johnny. Millions of others like me love you deeply. Coming in at number 8 is Winona Ryder. Winona Ryder dated Johnny Depp for 4 years from 1989 to 1993. Having known him for so long, she felt inclined to give a statement on the conflict. Quote, I understand that it is very important that I speak from my own experience, as I obviously was not there during his marriage to Amber, but from my experience, which was so widely different, I was absolutely shocked, confused, and upset when I heard the accusations against him. The idea that he is an incredibly harmful person is the furthest thing from the Johnny I knew and loved. I cannot wrap my head around these accusations. He has never physically hurt anybody I have seen. I truly and honestly only know him as a really good man. He's an incredibly loving, extremely caring guy who was so very protective of me and the people that he loves, and I felt so very, very safe with him. While she also didn't come out against Amber Heard, she did explain her sense of disbelief at the idea of Johnny ever hurting anyone. Number 7 is Vanessa Paradis. Vanessa Paradis is Johnny Depp's ex-wife, who is also a famous French singer. The two have 2 children together and were together for 25 years. Although they divorced in 2012, she was quick to come to the defense of her ex-husband, who is a supportive co-parent. Quote, "I have known Johnny Depp for more than 25 years. We've been partners for 14 years, and we raised our 2 children together. Through all these years, I've known Johnny to be a kind, attentive, generous, and non-violent person and father. I am aware of the allegations which Amber Heard has publicly accused Johnny of for more than 4 years now. This is nothing like the true Johnny I have known, and from my personal experience of many years, I can say he was never harmful towards me." Her statement is eloquent and straight to the point, and for someone who also had a falling out with the man, she still holds such a high viewpoint of the actor. So what does that say? Next up is Kevin McNally, Johnny Depp's co-star who played Gibbs in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. Although it's extremely unlikely that he will show up in court to testify for Johnny Depp, once rumors surfaced that Depp was to step down as Jack Sparrow, he stated, quote, "My dream is that some sort of link will be needed between what has been before and whatever bizarre incarnation of what there is to come. But I sincerely think that my fate is so tied in with Johnny's that I will go with him if indeed he does go," which is a really beautiful thing to say about someone. Next up on the list is David Yates. David is the director of the Fantastic Beasts series, a spin-off of Harry Potter that used to star Johnny Depp as one of the villains. Johnny was fired from his role after the allegations surfaced from Amber Heard when she wrote the article that she had been harmed by someone. Although not named, we all know who she was referring to. Anyways, he released a statement saying, quote, "Honestly, there's an issue at the moment where there's a lot of people being accused of things. They're being accused by multiple victims, and it's compelling and frightening. With Johnny, it seems to me there was one person who took a pop at him and claimed something. I can only tell you about the man I see every day. He's full of decency and kindness, and that's all I see. Whatever accusation was out there doesn't tally with the kind of human being I've been working with." Coming in at number 4 is J.K. Rowling. Okay, J.K. Rowling isn't really in anyone's good graces lately for various extremely valid reasons, but she did show a statement of support for Johnny Depp after he was initially hired for his role in the Fantastic Beasts franchise that she had written. Despite receiving a lot of backlash for the decision to hire him, the Harry Potter author stated, quote, "For me personally, the inability to speak openly to fans about this issue has been difficult, frustrating, and at times painful. However, the agreements that have been put in place to protect the privacy of 2 people, both of whom have expressed a desire to get on with their lives, must be respected. Based on our understanding of the circumstances, the filmmakers and I are not only comfortable sticking with our original casting, but genuinely happy to have Johnny playing a major character in the movies." Glad that worked out. Coming in at number 3 is Sia. Basically zero chance that she'll show up in court, but Sia is next on the list of celebrities who have been extremely outspoken in supporting Johnny Depp. In a tweet speaking about the matter, she stated, quote, "Just showing my public support for Johnny Depp. I mean, I'd love him to get clean and stop with the jewelry, but he is clearly the victim after hearing those tapes." Fair enough on the jewelry aspect, sometimes it's a bit tacky. Coming in at number 2 is Sharon Osbourne. Another famous celebrity who left a show of support for Johnny Depp is the wife of Ozzy Osbourne and British television personality Sharon Osbourne. During an appearance on a talk show aptly named The Talk, Sharon stated, quote, "It takes 2 to tango. I think that they had a very vulnerable relationship. I think they're both as bad as each other. She gave him as good as she got. It wasn't just like a little mouse in the corner being battered. I don't know what they were using. I have no idea who was doing what, but I know they were both drinking and it's a volatile relationship." Next on my list is an actor who is confirmed to be called to testify for his part in the aggressive texts that he and Johnny had exchanged about Amber Heard and the horrifying things they would do to her body. Paul Bettany co-starred with Johnny for the 2010 movie The Tourist. They also worked together on Transcendence and Mordecai. Having worked together on several films, the two quickly became super close friends. Initially, he tweeted, quote, "Known Johnny Depp for years and through several relationships. He's the sweetest, kindest, gentlest man that I've ever known. Just saying." Apparently, during the reading of the texts about Amber between the 2 actors, Paul felt ashamed of what he said and attempted to distance himself from the couple, which, like, man, if you're gonna say that stuff, at least own it fully. Don't shy away from it.
First up, we got James Franco. Actor James Franco is one of the many witnesses that will be called to the stand on behalf of Amber Heard. The pair first met on the set of the 2008 movie Pineapple Express, where they developed a friendship. That movie was one of the first in her career. According to People, Amber confided in James after an alleged physical altercation with Johnny. While Depp was on the stand talking about the breakdown of his marriage with Heard, he brought up Heard's relationship with Franco and how he believed that she was cheating on him. Along with meeting during the making of Pineapple Express, the pair also worked together on the 2015 movie The Adderall Diaries. Depp claimed he became suspicious of the pair's interactions during a scene he believed that Heard was having an affair. Johnny even admitted that he once confronted Amber about her relationship with James Franco. While the couple was on a flight from Boston to LA, Johnny decided to confront Amber about allegations that she was cheating with Franco. Later, a recording was played by Heard's defense, where Depp was heard saying, quote, "I became irrational when you're doing movies. I become jealous and effing weird, and we fight a lot more." Depp also admitted to being insecure while with Amber, as he stated that he got jealous when Heard would go out with other people. James Franco has been long connected to Amber and her messy divorce, but has never made any public statements about where he stands, although we can assume that he supports her, as they started dating while Amber accused Depp of a Even though Heard denied having a relationship with Franco, that was deemed to be a lie when camera footage of Franco and Heard in an elevator were leaked. Heard brought Franco to her and Johnny's LA penthouse while Depp was away. Franco didn't give evidence or a witness statement, but Heard described the visit in May of 2016. She claimed that she had facial injuries after Depp threw a phone at her after he found feces in their marital bed, which Depp claimed she was responsible for, and we now know that Amber Heard was, with Heard saying in court that Franco made a comment about the bruises on her face, saying, quote, "Oh my god, what happened to you? He saw my face when I let him in, he saw my face and said, what the?" Franco was also asked to testify for Johnny's case because Depp and his team want to confirm that Franco saw bruises on Heard's face when they met up that night. Although Franco agreed to testify, he stated his words must be kept secret, and if they leaked, Depp would be personally responsible. Hopefully we get the full story when Franco is put on the stand in the coming weeks. Next up, Elon Musk. Elon Musk is another celebrity who is testifying on behalf of Amber Heard during her trial because they had a relationship around the time that Amber was accusing Johnny of getting physical with her. The reason Elon has been dragged into this case is because Johnny accused him of having an affair with Amber back in 2020. The accusation was enough to make major headlines at the time. It was never confirmed if the pair cheated or not, but it's clear that Amber and Elon had a romantic relationship. Elon and Amber started dating in the summer of 2016 and were spotted out multiple times in London. In August of 2017, it was reported that Elon had ended their year-long romance. The pair got back together months later, but called it quits yet again months later. A source told Mail at the time, quote, "It's all over between Amber and Elon and she's devastated. It was his decision." Apparently the timing between the two was not right. Another source confirmed the breakup and also confirmed that it was Elon's decision to end things. The pair cited their conflicting schedules as what kept them apart. Later, Musk admitted that he was heartbroken from the breakup and even claimed that Heard was more so responsible for the split, revealing, quote, "I was really in love and it hurt bad. Well, she broke up with me more than I broke up with her, I think." Musk claimed after the split that he was so heartbroken, he hardly made it through the launch of the Tesla Model 3 event. Adding, quote, "It took every ounce of will to be able to do the Model 3 event and not look like the most depressed guy around. For most of that day, I was morbid." Along with having a romantic relationship with Heard, Johnny Depp alleged in court documents that Elon had a, quote, three-way affair with Heard and model actress Cara Delevingne at Depp's and Heard's apartment in Los Angeles in 2016, while Depp was away in Australia. Although Musk denied this allegation and called Delevingne a friend. Musk has admitted to having dated Heard, but only after she filed for divorce from Depp. When asked about their relationship, Musk further stated, quote, "Also, I wish to confirm again that Amber and I only started going out about a month after her divorce filing. I don't think I was ever even in the vicinity of Amber during their marriage." It's hard to know if there's any more information that Musk has that could be useful to either Depp or Heard, but again, we will be finding out shortly in court. Ellen Barkin is another celebrity who is taking the stand in the defense of Amber Heard. Barkin is an actress who briefly dated Depp many years ago and supports Heard's claims that he can get violent. Depp and Barkin worked together for a brief time in the 1990s, shortly after his split from Winona Ryder. When Barkin and Depp first met in 1998 on the set of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, he had just come out of a long-term relationship with Winona Ryder. After splitting from Ryder, Depp began seeing Barkin. The pair had a pretty large age gap, with Barkin being 9 years older than Depp. In her deposition in support of Amber, Barkin claims that while she was dating Depp, they got in a fight and he ended up throwing a wine bottle at her, although Depp denies this. He claims the relationship was a casual one and Barkin wanted to be more serious, saying that he believed her accusations were due to a grudge. When speaking about their relationship, Depp recalled meeting her while making Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, adding, quote, "She wanted a proper relationship with me and I did not want that. I didn't feel the same about her as she did me, and I suppose from that moment on, she became very, very angry, and since then, I have not spoken to Miss Barkin, nor has Miss Barkin spoken to me." Obviously, if the story is true, it shows that Johnny has been violent with his partners in the past, and it would add more weight to Heard's allegations. Raquel Pennington. Raquel Pennington is a close friend of Amber Heard's that will be testifying in court that she witnessed bruises and cuts on Heard's body during her marriage to Depp. Deadline reported that Pennington's name was mentioned as Depp recounted a past confrontation with then-wife Heard. Pennington was also present on their wedding day. Pennington is involved in this case because she was neighbors with Heard and Depp while they were living in their downtown LA penthouse apartment. Pennington and Heard have been friends for almost 2 decades, with Pennington even testifying during Johnny Depp's libel case against the Sun newspaper in 2020. During the libel trial, Pennington said that she, quote, became really scared for Amber's life. Pennington also testified that Heard had, quote, deep lacerations from her wrists to her elbows, and the soles of her feet had numerous small cuts, adding that Heard still had scars on her arm from the incident. But Pennington did also state that she'd never actually seen Depp hit Heard, so there is some room to think that Amber Heard got these cuts and bruises from someone else other than Depp. And finally, Tassia Van Ray. When Depp first started to allege that Heard was the violent one in their relationship, not him, news that Heard had been violent towards a past partner went viral. While Heard was in a relationship with Tassia Van Ray, she was accused of physical harm in 2009. Heard was arrested by Port of Seattle police on September 14th of 2009 after the former couple got into an altercation at the airport. Apparently Heard grabbed and struck Van Ray's arm. Heard was arrested and then had to go in front of a judge the next day. In the end, prosecutors declined to press charges. Although years later, when the allegations again came to light, Van Ray defended Amber, claiming the altercation was not what was described by police. In a statement issued by Heard's publicist in 2016, Van Ray said that Heard had been, quote, wrongfully accused and that the entire incident had been blown out of proportion, claiming the cops had over-sensationalized what happened. Van Ray continued, quote, I recall hints of misogynistic attitudes towards us, which later appeared to be homophobic when they found out we were domestic partners and not just friends. When speaking about her feelings towards Amber at the time, she continued, quote, it's disheartening that Amber's integrity and story are being questioned yet again. Amber is a brilliant, honest, and beautiful woman, and I have the utmost respect for her. Although Depp's camp refuted these words, and they claim that many former partners of Amber's came forward to share that Heard with those partners in the past, clearly showing a pattern in her relationships. Heard and Van Ray had started dating in 2008 and later split in 2012, but still remained close friends, with Van Ray speaking out in defense of Amber during the trial.
In our number 3 spot we have The Gift. Ooh, this one was such a moment. At this point in the cross-examination, you see Camille, Johnny's lawyer, begin to warm up Amber by asking her a series of questions to confirm her claims of being hurt by Johnny. She specifically highlights that these claims took place in 2012 and Miss Heard agrees. But then she asks Amber about a gift that she gave Johnny in 2012, a knife. It was during these cycles of violence in 2012 that you gave Mr. Depp a knife as a gift? Johnny Depp's lawyers asked, to which Amber tried to play it off as if she couldn't remember when she gave it to him. But it was too late because the point was already driven home. She gave a knife to someone who supposedly hurts her. That doesn't sound right. This is the same knife that you gave to the man who would get drunk and violent with you, right? That's what Camille Vasquez finished on, and man, was it good. Coming up in our number 2 spot we have The Pledge. Arguably this moment may tie for first because this one and the first place spot was so hard to choose between. This is the moment when we discovered that in Amber's mind, to pledge to do something means to have already done it. To give you context, Johnny Depp's lawyers were trying to point out that Amber said she was going to give all of her divorce money to charity, but she didn't. Amber says that she pledges to, but then we are shown a clip where Amber is seen saying that she has donated the money. Past tense. Oh lordy, this was a fun moment. Johnny's lawyer said, sitting here today, you have not donated the $7 million. Donated, not pledged, donated the $7 million divorce settlement to charity. To which Amber replied, I use pledge and donation synonymous with one another. Johnny's lawyers quickly jumped in to say, but I don't. Amber begins to make the case that she will donate it, but she hasn't been able to due to being sued. But then of course, Johnny's lawyer then goes on to point out that she received all of her divorce settlement 13 months prior to being sued. Coming up in our number 1 spot we have TMZ. In the original deposition done with Amber back in August of 2016, Amber was being questioned by Johnny's lawyers, whom are asking her if she sent a text message to Johnny's head of security jury judge, saying that she is desperately trying to reach Johnny. When explaining the text message, Amber unfortunately has a bit of a slip up when she says, I remember sending this because I wanted to tell Johnny or have him told by Jerry or someone who knew him or was close to him. Basically, I didn't want him to find out online that I had or was about to file for divorce. I wanted him to know verbally, so I was trying to reach him through a third party to tell him. When I say reach, I'm specifically saying I would like him to know information coming from me or coming from Jerry from me, so that he finds out about the divorce filing or my intention to do so from some other source other than TMZ, which was alerted. This clip was played in court only for Johnny's lawyer to say, "Slipped up there, didn't you, Miss Heard?" Drops mic. She then went on to share that also TMZ owns the copyright for the video of Johnny slamming the cupboards. So who else sold the video but Amber, who took the video? Amber of course denied it and went on to saying, "What does that get me? If I wanted to leak things about Johnny, I could have done that in a much more successful way, in a bigger way for years and years." To which Johnny's lawyer quickly asked, "Not when you were extorting him for $7 million? Damn, that was an amazing minute in court. Wow. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I'm Melissa Malati, and see you next time.
Number 10. Charity pledges. The infamous charity pledges. From her initial divorce settlement, Amber Heard was given $7 million. She pledged in court to give the money entirely towards charity, with a few million to a children's hospital in Los Angeles and the rest to a labor rights group. But now that a few years have passed and we're looking more closely at the receipts from this claim, we find out that Amber has donated barely anything to the charity. The labor union testified that they never received the full $3.5 million that it was promised, and that about half of the donations that it received in Heard's name came from Elon Musk, who dated Amber after her and Johnny broke up. Amber deflected by stating on the stand that she still planned to donate all the money she promised, but that the defamation suit, which demands up to $50 million in damages, got in the way. Quote, "I still fully intend on honoring all of my pledges. I would love him to stop suing me so I can." Interestingly, there are about 4 years between Amber and Johnny divorcing and the Sun libel trial, of which she was not being sued for. Number 9. The makeup palette. Previously, in the opening statement back in April, while discussing how she used to cover her bruises from Depp hitting her multiple times, Amber's attorney held up a Milani Cosmetics color correcting makeup palette. She stated that Amber had used this makeup palette to hide her bruises after the onslaught delivery by Johnny to make sure that no one discovered her bruises and lesions. But in a now viral TikTok video, Milani Cosmetics themselves refuted this whole statement, saying that their color correcting palette came out in 2017. A full year after Amber had gotten a restraining order against Johnny. Johnny Depp supporters online used the issue to allege that Amber was lying about actually being hurt by Johnny during their relationship. But now that Amber is back on the stand, she was shown the same Milani Cosmetics palette and asked if she used it. She said she used something similar to it. Quote, "This is what I was talking about as a color correction palette, as a color correction kit. This is not, obviously, the exact one I used to carry. But I used to carry something like this with me all the time." Amber told the court that the makeup she did use she referred to as her bruise kit. She also explained that she would ice her injuries to reduce swelling, apply cream, and then put the makeup on. Quote, "The idea is that you want to counteract whatever color you're working with on the bruise. So first day of bruising, well, the immediate is red. The red is what shows up right away. So you want to go with the opposite on the color wheel by dabbing a bit of green or something to counteract the red." While the attorney for Amber previously insinuated that the Milani Cosmetics palette was the one that Amber specifically had used, once the makeup brand refuted the claim, it was changed to one like this. Number 8. Sharing embarrassing photos of Johnny. During her testimony yesterday, Amber was being cross-examined and asked about whether she sent a photo to a friend of Depp sleeping after allegedly having consumed substances. Johnny's attorney characterized the photo of Depp asleep with ice cream spilled on him as embarrassing, and asked whether Amber had sent it to anyone. Amber stated that she didn't think so. But very quickly, the attorney showed a screenshot of a text message that Amber sent to her best friend. The message attached to the picture reads, quote, "This is what I'm dealing with." When she was shown the text messages between her and her friend of the photo of Johnny debilitated with the caption, "This is what I'm dealing with," Amber's attorney asked, quote, "And this is you supporting Mr. Depp?" Amber rebutted, stating, quote, "This is me getting support from my best friend. I also need support." Number 7. Never hitting Johnny Depp. At the beginning of the trials, Amber continually pressed the alleged fact that she never hit Johnny. She said that she was solely the victim to his harm and that she never raised a finger against him. We found that not to be true because the instance with the stairs became apparent. During one of their fights, Amber ran up the stairs with her sister. Allegedly, Johnny raised his hand to her sister, who got between the couple, and Amber hit Johnny to defend her. So the story changed from Amber has never hit Johnny to Amber has hit Johnny once in defense of her sister, who was clearly in a position of danger. According to Amber, her panic and fear for her sister came from the rumor she heard that Johnny had pushed his ex-girlfriend, Kate Moss, down the stairs during one of the fights back in the 90s. The rumor is absolutely not corroborated and could push the court in the favor of Johnny from Amber. Number 6. Hit Johnny Depp once. Okay, so the story changed from Amber has never hit Johnny to now Amber has only hit him once in defense of her sister. But that may not be entirely true because Amber was asked about a now viral audio clip recording of her on the phone with Johnny. In the clip, she states, quote, "I was hitting you. I was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched. You're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you." After she was asked about the clip, Amber changed her story once again to now admitting that she had hit him, but that it was in a provocative manner during a moment of intimacy. She said that Depp hit her in bed, and so she hit him back reactively. On the stand, she states, quote, "I hit his arms, his body as he was trying to prevent me from closing the door. I knew what he would do to me when he got to the other side." So now the story has gone from never hitting Johnny to only hitting him once to now twice. Number 5. Adjusting her timeline. While on the witness stand on Monday, Amber spent the first few minutes changing her story and adjusting her testimony, telling the court that the alleged harm from Johnny began earlier than she previously thought. Quote, "I'm embarrassed to say I think I would have liked to believe that the period of time in which I fell in love with Johnny, in which we fell in love and he was sober and he wasn't violent to me, lasted longer than it did." She said following a review of therapy notes, she recalled earlier moments of alleged harm that dated back as early as 2012 rather than her previously stated 2013. When asked by her attorney why she didn't recall these moments, Amber stated, quote, "That's not how my memory works." Number 4. Amber not being a fan. While up on the stand, Amber spent some time describing her early days in a relationship with Johnny. She also describes what she thought of him before she got to know him. Quote, "I knew who he was. I wasn't familiar, I wasn't a fan of his work. I wasn't familiar with him." But then some fans found a decades-old interview with Amber in which she was asked whether she was a fan of Johnny's growing up. The younger Amber says, quote, "I mean, who isn't a fan of Johnny's? That's a given. He's been a cultural icon and talented actor since I can remember." Number 3. Amber leaked evidence to TMZ. Previous testimony from the original 2016 divorce proceedings from Amber are currently under scrutiny as well. Allegedly, she may have slipped up while on the stand originally. During Heard's cross-examination of Virginia's Fairfax County Circuit Court on Tuesday, May 17th, the Aquaman star was shown footage of her 2016 deposition in which she discussed her divorce from Depp. She was heard in the video admitting that TMZ had been alerted about their divorce as well as her filing for a domestic violence restraining order against Depp, before awkwardly covering her face with her hands. Also at the original trial, Amber stated, quote, "I wanted to tell Johnny, or have him told by Jerry," the Depp's former bodyguard, "or someone who knew him or was close to him. Basically, I didn't want him to find out online. I would like him to know information coming from me or coming from Jerry from me, so that he finds out about the divorce filing or my intention to do so from some other source other than TMZ, which had been alerted." Depp's lawyers then accused her of leaking the information to the press well before she officially told Johnny that she wanted a divorce. Amber fumbled through her responses, saying that she wasn't sure and that it wasn't her area of expertise. Number 2. Amber's broken nose. And now another time when Amber allegedly got hit by Johnny and a day later appeared on the James Corden show looking absolutely flawless. Johnny Depp's legal team grilled Amber Heard over photos of her looking fresh-faced during public appearances after allegedly being beaten up by Depp. The court was shown a clip of Amber Heard appearing on the Late Late Show with James Corden in December 2015 with no visible marks or bruises on her face. She previously told the court in her defamation trial that her makeup team had to work around the wounds and apply, quote, "super heavy red matte lipstick to hide her bloodied lip." While I don't doubt the power of makeup, it's hard to hide visible swelling. Number 1. Amber has never hit anyone. While Amber Heard had previously claimed that she never hurt anyone before her relationship with Johnny, which required her to fight back to escape further harm, and in an act of self-defense, Amber's past shows a very different story. All the way back in 2009, she was actually arrested and charged with hitting her girlfriend at the time, Tasia Van Ree. In the end though, charges were dropped, but this isn't where the lie comes in. The couple tried to claim that the only reason Heard was arrested was because the arresting police officer had realized that they were partners, not friends, and that the arrest motive was homophobia and prejudice. It was later found out that the officer who had arrested Heard was in fact part of the LGBTQ community herself. and was actually an advocate and person who fought for equal rights. The officer spoke out after this entire ordeal, saying that despite these claims against her, she arrested Amber because a violent fight occurred and that she was the one who witnessed it in the first place. So Amber directly lied under oath by claiming she was non-violent despite having a history of hitting her girlfriend in the past. No matter how this court case ends, it will definitely finish the toxic saga between Amber Heard and Johnny Depp.